So there's three things that happens inside of a business as your business continues to grow. And there's three things within this one thing that you have to think about for your mindset. So this is self, for your skill set, and then the third thing is strategy. So a lot of times what happens is as your business continues to grow, your practice continues to grow, at each level of growth, there's a different mindset that you have to have, there's a different skill set that you have to tap into, and there's a different strategy that you have to implement. So I remember when I first got into management, my team was 3 people. And that was just amazing to me because I was like, wow, I have this job and I have these people that report to me. And it was 3 people, 3 whole people. And the skill set that I needed for the 3 people compared to later on in my career, where I had 100 plus team members in 20 locations in C-suite, responsibility and managers and coordinators and directors and team leads and all the things throughout the years, that skill set was completely different. That mindset was completely different. And the strategies that we had to implement were completely different. So a lot of times what I see from practice owners, from clients, and even me having to check myself is that you get to a new stage of business growth and you have to change how you're thinking, you have to change how you're leading, you have to change what you're implementing, you have to change, your identity, like all of those things. And so if you miss one of those 3 areas, then it's going to throw you, your business, your money, like all of it off. So it's important for you to understand now that the growth of your practice and team is only as good as what your mindset is, what your skill set is, and the strategies that you're implementing. So that's number 1. Number 2 is being responsible versus being strategic as a practice owner. And so what does that mean? So when you're staying on top of everything, it sounds good, right? It sounds good. Like you're responsible. You're doing the right thing. You're making sure that the team is good. You're making sure that you're taking accountability and all the things. And so there's a certain point where you have to switch things up. So I think about a couple of different examples. The first example is when you go shopping, right? So like me and my significant other will go shopping and I'll be like, hey, babe, can you hold my purse? Can you hold my coat? Can you hold my bag? Like, can you hold whatever? And he will sit up there and he will say, sure, babe. And then I'll go around the store and I'll buy whatever I want and I'm having the time of my life. And he is sitting there being responsible with all my stuff. Like he's holding everything. He's holding my purse. He's holding my bag, my coat, all the things, right? And so it sounds good, but I'm having the time of my life and his experience is this kind of sucks. That's one example. The second example that comes to mind for me is when I was in college and we would go out. And we had a designated driver. His name was Neil. We loved Neil because Neil meant that we could go out and we could just make bad life choices. And if we wanted to take a shot, we could take a shot. If we wanted to, not think about things, because Neil was sitting at a table in the corner, drinking water, making sure that he was being responsible to making sure that we were getting home that night. The story here is that when you think about this inside of your practice, you being the designated driver or you being the one that's holding all the bags and being the responsible one is actually costing you so much growth because when you are that person for everything, you're not able to focus on the bigger picture. You're worried, so while your team is out having the time of their lives, sometimes making more money than what you're making, sometimes being able to work a more flexible schedule than what you can, making sure that they are just living it up and you are just stressed and tired because you're holding all the bags or you're stressed and tired because you have to sit in a corner and drink water because you're making sure everyone else is good while you are sitting there tired and exhausted, right? So it's important for you to get the lesson that sometimes being the responsible person is not the person that you need to be at different stages of business. Like your team needs to be there to help you. So instead of you being the one holding everything, you have to be one person's holding the purse, another person's holding the coat, another person's holding the shopping bags, right? So you also have to be everybody is sitting at the table drinking water and making sure that everybody can make it home okay. So that way there's not just the one designated driver. Your team is driving. They're saying, hey, watch ahead. There's a pothole, or there's a car that's coming, or that light just turned red, or there's a deer, that can shoot out from the country. So it's just really making sure that you're setting yourself up for success and you're being strategic as the owner compared to being the one that's always being responsible. Thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the episode and it empowers you as the CEO of your practice. If you enjoyed the podcast, please make sure you subscribe, share the message, and leave a review. If you want more information and support in growing and scaling your practice, click the link in the show notes to take advantage of our free resources or apply to work with me directly. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.